now for her immediate reaction. Employers Confederation of the Philippines Chair, Emeritus Engineer Nina Mangio. She is also president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Good to have you on, Nina. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Kathy, and good morning to everyone.
So what does ECOP and PCCI think about Sen Tito's bill requiring private sector employers to grant 14-month pay to workers?
You know, that is a very good proposal or bill as far as we're concerned. But we are just worried that maybe the medium enterprises would be able to shoulder that, and that would have not much effect on their operation. But we are worried on our small and micro enterprises. Maybe even the micro can afford that, the small can afford that, excuse me. But the micro, since this comprises about 90% of our enterprises, we're worried that this might be very, very difficult for them. And considering that, for example, last year, even the 1 month, 13 month, and other incentives that were given, they were helped by SB Corp to come up with the payment needed. We're afraid that if we impose another 14th month on top of the 13th month that is already being given, it would be really very difficult for the micro enterprises and even for the small. But we don't want to be misunderstood as far as our stand is concerned. We are after the welfare of our workers.
So are you then in favor, in a way, to the proposal, maybe for the large and medium and small-sized enterprises that can manage it, to allow 14-month pay for workers, including kasambahays?
Yes, but the micro enterprises would really have difficulties. We just probably just give us more time and makapag-adjust naman ika nga. Let our enterprises adjust a little because remember, there was also an increase in labor that was pronounced, made effective, I think, August or July. Na we're still adjusting to it before sana ma-implement itong ating 14.
Yes, isa po siyang panukala pa lang. It just broke about 24 hours ago. But let's pick up on the 50 peso wage hike because that became effective on July 18th. The minimum wage earners in the National Capital Region started receiving 50 pesos of an increase in daily pay. The increase had been unanimously approved by the NCR Wage Board. What impact is it having so far on employers, specifically to the small and medium-sized enterprises?
We are adjusting right now. The MSMEs are adjusting to it because especially the micro and the small ones, we really encounter a lot of difficulties adjusting to the net effect of that 50 pesos. At the time that was being proposed, a lot of negotiations were made because at the time our apprehensions is more on the effect on it on our economy. We felt that it will increase our responsibilities, inflation rates, and all that. And the majority of the micro might really have some difficulties and might slow down or might reduce their manpower accommodations or employment and might just, I should say, sort to more simpler or more less labor-intensive products. And in doing so, we are reducing the probability of employment to the micro and small ones. And also those unemployed who might be affected by the inflation would be unfairly affected by that increase. But since it has already been approved and implemented, all of us are adjusting to it.
Yun doon po sa adjustment, meron na po bang nagsara na small or micro enterprises because of the 50 peso wage hike?
Sabihin natin, they tried to reduce hiring and just use maximum utilization of manpower. And retired those with redundancy, streaming down operation. Closing down, I think, wala pa naman, or kung meron man, very minimal, but it's more of slimming down the operation.
Kung pag-uusapan naman po ang large-scale enterprises, what's been the impact? Have they also held back on hiring after the 50 peso wage hike?
I think that one was implemented even by the large enterprises. Although not so much, not like the MSMEs that are really hardly affected by this, that are really deeply affected by this one. The large ones may just have removed the redundancies, might have retired those who are retirable, and maybe reduce a little on their hiring, but they were not expected to really be affected like the MSMEs.
Okay, just as a final point po, as you're asking more time to go through the newest bill filed, which is 14-month pay for workers, how can the government ensure that any new mandates would truly uplift workers without harming businesses? Because it is indeed a very tight balancing act that needs to be done here.
What we're looking at probably is we have a lot of bills that were implemented to protect and to provide employers and employees incentives and resources. We feel that probably the government can help us in slimming down an operation and making our operation really effective by approving or by looking back on all those bills that were filed to help the MSMEs and as well as the employers.
Okay, we got that loud and clear. Maraming salamat po for your initial assessment of this new bill filed at the Senate. Nina Mangio of ECOP and PCCI.